need you to pay attention because this is the 8th grade scheduling presentation taking place at the orientation we usually do at night with your parents. Now, all of this information that I'm going to show you guys today, we're going to send out to your parents, okay? Now, the helpful piece of this is if you can sit down with it and go through it with them, that means you were kind of paying attention today. That's going to really help. Okay, it's going to help you, it's going to help your parents, and it's going to help get this sheet back by, I believe, next Friday. Is that what the date says, that you're supposed to get this sheet back? Following Tuesday. That's different than the 6th graders? Okay. So you guys, the biggest piece of this is it's your job to get this piece of paper back to the guidance office in time. Do you think I'm going to chase you to figure out what classes you want to take? No, I'm not, okay? So whoever gets this back in time, that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with 8th grade next year. When I start putting in classes, okay, for your electives, I'm going to start with you guys. So if you get that back to me on time, you should be able to get the classes or most of the classes that you want. That's my goal anyway, okay? I know you're in, halfway through your 7th grade year right now. I know you think you have it all figured out, but there's a lot of information now. Next year's going to change. You're going to have several more options. You're going to have more options next year that's going to really play into your high school, graduation plan. That's why we need to pay attention today. It's not as simple as it was last year as 6th graders just choosing a couple of electives. Okay, so just pay attention to me today. All this information is going to be sent out to you and to your parents. We're recording this so they can watch this if they need to. Any questions so far? Good. Up here, I have graduation requirements. Okay, has anybody heard of the Core 40? Do we know what the Core 40 means? Has anybody heard of it? You've heard of it, Cole? What's it mean, Lord Cole Ramsey? Okay, that's right. So what do you think the number 40 means? Yes, okay, credits. To earn a Core 40 diploma, you have to earn 40 credits through your high school career. What is a credit? Go ahead. That's true, but how do you earn a credit in high school? Yes, sir. By passing classes. Okay? And several of you are doing a really good job with that. Some of you need to get a little bit better at that. Okay? So if you pass 42, Western Boone requires you to pass 42 classes in high school to earn a Core 40 diploma. Okay? The state of Indiana requires you to pass 40. So we kind of amp that up a little bit. Now we have another diploma called the Academic Honors Diploma, where we require how many credits? Can anybody read up there? What's that? 47. That's right. 47 credits to get the Academic Honors Diploma. Now, I'm telling you guys all about this now because it's going to take effect next year for some of you when I start going through your class options this year. Because in 8th grade, you actually have the option or you have the chance to earn high school credit. Okay? That means you earn credit toward this 42 or toward the 47 that we're looking at. Okay, that's why it's important to pay attention today and see what your options are and see where your path's going to lead. Okay? A couple things that we need to go down. The honors, if you're going after an academic honors diploma, that doesn't mean you're taking all honors classes. What the academic honors diploma does for you is it opens doors if you're going to go to college. Okay, it opens more doors there. Now there's some requirements on there that are different from the Core 40. You have to take 3 years of a foreign language. Okay, if you're going to earn the academic honors diploma. Now that's different for you now because next year's the first year we're going to be offering Spanish to 8th graders. Okay? Now, some of you, that's really exciting. You guys want to get into Spanish as soon as you can. Some of you could care less, and that's okay. But it's going to be real important if you are going to try to get ahead and go the academic honors diploma, maybe taking Spanish next year would not be a bad option. Okay? Now, there are requirements that we're going to talk through there in just a second. But that's why I'm starting here. Okay? That's why I'm starting here with all the credits to make sure you guys understand what's going on. The other reason I wanted to start here is, have you guys seen, or maybe you have or haven't, but we have a lot of juniors or seniors that leave the building after 3 or 4 periods in a day, and we have some that come in around lunchtime. Do you guys see those kids? Those kids are in vocational programs. And if we scroll down here, we can see the options. Again, this is all going to be sent to you, but we can see the options when you become a junior and senior in high school. If you have so many credits, if you've passed so many classes, you may have an option to go take one of our vocational CTE programs. And those include right now, Trivo, Cosmo, Health Careers, Fire and Rescue, Precision Machining, Business, and there are a couple others. We provide transportation to J. Everett Light or to West Central programs, and there's a lot of different options, and that's probably going to change by the time you guys become juniors and seniors. There's probably going to be more options, to be honest with you. But in order to do something like that, you've got to be on track. What's being on track mean? Go ahead.
Paying attention to what you do.
Did you say passing your classes? Yes, passing your classes. That's exactly right. So if you guys pass your classes, right, the classes that you sign up for in your 8th grade year, your freshman year, your sophomore year, you're going to open yourself a lot of doors when you get to high school. Okay? I know several of you just thought you were coming down here, okay, we get to pick a couple electives, Mr. Pelly, that's great. It's more than that. Okay? You need to start thinking about this path that you're going to go down and the options that you have. I just wanted to touch on some of that today so you realize what's ahead of you. Now, we have a guidance block coming up next week too, where you guys are going to start working on your scheduling, okay, for next year and also into high school a little bit. It's going to be real important. I'm going to send this link to your teachers as well, so when you do have that guidance block, you'll be able to kind of go through those a little bit, and this will help you. Okay? Does everybody understand kind of what we're doing and why today? How it's you guys are just on the brink of starting to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. Okay? How many people would be interested maybe in doing a vocational something when they're a junior or senior in high school, leaving the building half day and going to do something, learn a trade? Okay, that's what I thought. So it's very, very popular, but you have to do your part. Okay, they're not going to let you leave if you have 10 credits when you're a junior in high school. Okay? That's just not how it works. Again, we can go back to this later. Let's start getting to your classes now so we can try to understand what this piece of paper means in front of you. Okay, obviously you haven't survived the 8th grade yet, but you're 7th grade yet, but you're pretty close. 8th grade required courses, not much changes here from this year. You're going to take English, you're going to take math, you're going to take science, you're going to take social studies, you're going to still take PE and health. Okay? Those 5 are locked in. I can't do anything for you there. Now you are going to have a couple options with honors, right? If you want to get into algebra next year, you have to fill out the application to take algebra next year, and that is going to earn you a high school credit. You can also take English honors. That's not going to earn you a high school credit, but it's kind of the advanced English class, and all that is kind of written on there. I think you guys can see that. Okay? Does everybody understand your math, English, math, science, social studies, PE, everything's, you're basically going to flip rooms in the same hallway that you're in now. You guys know, you see all your 8th grade friends and what classes they're going to. For the most part, that's where you're going to be. Similar to 7th grade, you're going to pick, you got to get 2 electives. Okay, we got to pick 2 electives. Now, these electives, there's a couple one that I just kind of mentioned about the Core 40 and the Academic Honors Diploma that's actually going to earn you credit. This can be a really big advantage for some of you who want to get ahead. Okay? Now, I would not advise to do this. If you are a poor student or an average student, we might want to think about this because that grade's going to stick with you in high school. Okay, so just make sure that we're prepared. Most of our classes, like the algebras and English, you have to get a recommendation from teachers and everything else. But there's a couple other options this next year, that you're going to be able to take that's going to add to these credits. Introduction to Agriculture. Okay, you didn't have the option to take that this year. You guys could have taken Exploring Ag this year. Is that right? Some of you are in Exploring Ag. Introduction to Agriculture is going to be worth a credit. That's a full year course. Okay, so you could take that, and there's a lot of different pathways or graduation plans that agriculture could be one of those pathways for you. We'll get to that probably next year. But if you're FFA, 4-H kid, or you just enjoy learning about animals, soil, and nutrition, all the things that go on with Mr. Tehar's class, then maybe that's something you'd be interested in, and it would also earn you high school credit. Okay, we all right there? No questions? Digital applications and responsibility. Some of you guys are familiar with that. Mr. Hall teaches this class. It's worth a high school credit. That's a one-semester class. Applied music and guitar. This went over very well this year. This was the first year that we offered guitar. You can take it one semester, you can take it 2 semesters, and that's something, if you're interested in music and doing something different maybe than just band or choir, that's something you could also do, and you're going to be in class with a lot of different kids in high school, but it's also worth a high school credit. So those are the classes that will earn you credits, and everything else is kind of the same that you're used to this year. Junior high band, junior high choir, you guys know that that's a year class, right? If you take that, you have to pick 4 spots. You got to get through 4 electives, if you will. If you take choir, that knocks out 2 of them. If you take choir and band, you're done. You don't have any more scheduling to do. Okay? Everybody all right with that? A new class next year, business and information technology. This is going to basically take the place of digital citizenship. Okay, remember the typing class that we offered this year? If you are terrible at typing, I would very much recommend that you take this class. It's not all typing, okay, but it's going to cover typing, it's going to cover software, different types of programs that you might use in the business world or might help you throughout the rest of high school too. So that could be a good class, and that's just changing the title to that a little bit to add a little bit more. Engineering and technology, this is probably one of our most popular courses, and some of you tried to get in that this year, and I couldn't get you in because it was full. That's why I'm going to start with 8th graders next year, okay, and try to get you guys in if that's what you want to do. I'll try to get you in there for 1 semester with Mr. Gray in the engineering and technology. Again, if you already took engineering and technology this year, you can't sign up for that next year, okay? And that's a lot of these courses have the same thing. You can still go back to exploring ag if you're not ready to commit to a full year of intro to agriculture and get the high school credit. Exploring college and careers, if you didn't take that this year, you can take that as well. And that would be very helpful. If you did not take exploring college and careers this year, I would recommend trying to get into that, especially if you don't know what you want to do, okay, because you're going to spend time on looking at schools around the nation, okay, looking at programs that might have something to do with what you're interested in doing. Last one's family consumer sciences. A lot of you guys took family consumer sciences 7, and you guys did some sewing. Family consumer sciences 8 is, they do some cooking in that class, and a lot of you guys have been doing a really good job in there. I think some of you were timid when you got in there, and then after you've been in it for a while, you realize it's not so bad. So you guys have done a nice job with that. Are there any questions? I know I've given you a lot of information. I know I've kind of jumped around a little bit, but I'm trying to show you the big picture of why this is important this year. Okay, are there any questions about the courses that are available to you next year? Yes, Cole?
So when you went over like the honors diploma, you said we needed to do Spanish, will the Spanish count for one of those?
It will. And that's the big incentive of trying to offer that next year. There are some requirements to taking Spanish, okay? You have to have an A in English, and you also must pass, I think I have that listed on here somewhere. You got to have an A in English, require a B+ in honors English, and you have to pass a 6th grade I-Learn. Okay, so those are requirements, and we're going to obviously cap that. We're not going to have 40 kids in a class there, but if you qualify for that and you're taken, then we're good to go, and that can really help you down the way. It's going to free up your schedule down the way. Okay, the enrichment classes. I know some of you are in the enrichment classes this year. We're going to continue that. Okay, that's going to happen again next year. We're going to have 8th grade enrichment for math and English. That's not a slap in the face. That's not a punishment. That's not anything. We're trying to help you guys. If you barely missed passing the I-Learn test in math or in language arts, I'm going to probably put you in this enrichment class. Enrichment means we're trying to get you over the hump. Does that make sense? We're trying to get you to pass these tests because the world's changed for you guys a lot. We have got to pass these I-Learn tests in order to graduate high school. You don't want to keep taking these every year, okay? So we're going to try to get you through that. I know some of you that are taking, I'm not going to have you show me your hands, but a lot of you are taking these courses, really like them, I think, this year, because it's almost like a study hall. It gives you an extra hour for English or math, and it gives you those resources that you need. There's no homework in the enrichment courses. You cannot sign up for the enrichment courses. I'm going to put you in the enrichment courses, and we're going to keep that number at about 15. I will call you down. I will talk to mom and dad, because it will take the place of one of your electives. Okay? So don't look at that as a slap in the face. Look at that as we're trying to help you. I know there was a lot of hesitancy this year by the people I put in that class, but I think that once we got through it, it ended up working out very well. The other deal is study hall. When you're in 8th grade, if you had a study hall this year, you'll probably be able to have a study hall next year. You cannot just request study hall. That's not how it works. Now, as soon as you become a freshman, you can start taking study halls. Okay? You could take a study hall every semester if you wanted to. And just so you guys understand the math, I told you 47 credits it would take to get an academic honors diploma. Is that right? If you took a study hall each semester, your freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, and you passed all 6 classes you were enrolled in, you'd have 48 credits. Okay? So there's some wiggle room there. You're going to have plenty of opportunities to take a couple study halls here and there. I would not recommend taking a study hall, right out of the gate your freshman year if you don't need it. Okay? I would try to get those classes out of the way to open up your schedule your junior and senior year to maybe leave the building and try one of our vocational programs. Okay? To maybe do something that's take more classes that you want to take as you get older and you figure out what path you want to go down. Does that help? Okay. The other part, and that kind of takes care of the schedule. You guys know how this works. Now, I always get the question, Mr. Pelly, do I really have to number 1 through 9? Or 8th graders, you guys have more than that, right? How many spots are on there? There's 9, but then you guys have about 4 or 5 other, 13? Okay, you guys have other options that 7th graders don't have. So here's what I would recommend you doing. If you're going to take one of the classes that require or that are worth high school credit, let's put that up top, okay, as number 1, number 2, and so on, and then just work your way down. Now, do you really have to go all the way to 13? Yeah, I want you to, okay? I want to know, Mr. Pelly, this is the one course I need. I have to have this course. Okay, and I'm going to do everything I can to get you in there. Can I guarantee it? No, I cannot. Because some of your schedules, how it works, if you're a band choir kid, if you're an honors kid, there's only so many electives you guys can take. But more what I want to know is I want to see exactly where it's going. I want to see what number 13 is. Mr. Pelly, this is number 13. If you put me in this class, I'm transferring tomorrow. Okay? Do not put me in this class. I'm going to do whatever I can to keep you out of your bottom half. Okay? And if we have to do that, I'm going to come talk to you, or I'm going to have you come down and talk to me, and we're going to figure it out. But please, it doesn't take a lot of effort to go through there and rank those from 1 to 13. That might be something you want to sit down with your mom and dad or guardian and kind of look and see what you're planning on doing. Again, we're going to send this out. This video is going to be linked into this as well, and you're going to have all the information you need. Any questions on how to fill this document out? Okay, the other thing that's real important that we need to talk about that's also going to be sent out to your parents is called 21st Century Scholars. Okay, the 21st Century Scholarship Program is a program in Indiana that for families that qualify financially, they will pay your tuition to an in-state school. Okay, now that's kind of a big deal. If you're planning on going to college, some of these are 2-year, some of these are 4-year, okay, but it has to be in the state of Indiana. You have to live. You have to be a resident in Indiana. You have to keep your grades up. You have to stay out of trouble. Okay, there's a lot of things going there, but you have an option or you have the possibility of the state of Indiana or this program paying for your college. Okay, now that's a lot of money, guys. I mean, you're talking upwards of $60,000 in some cases for a 4-year degree, for a 4-year program. So I would make sure you take this home, show this to mom and dad. I have the income table up here that will really help this year that they've actually provided for us so we can answer some more questions. If you think you might be close, or your parents think you might be close to qualifying for this, please, please, please sign up. Okay, and I'll make a big deal of this, and I'll send this out to all your parents, and I'll make sure they go to this link and look. The links work. They're up there, and it kind of shows you how to register. It tells you what the program is about. So you have to apply for that before you graduate the 8th grade. Okay, so this is kind of, I've talked about this last year. I've emailed a lot of your parents. I've talked to a lot of you, but you've got to get this done before you get out of the 8th grade in order to qualify for this program. Any questions on that? If you do have questions on that, come find me later, and I should be able to answer them. Mrs. Hill, take off on me. Looks like it. Looks like it's just us then, isn't it? Looks like it's just us. What questions do you guys have? Is there anything I've missed back there that you guys can think of? I know it's a lot. Yes, sir. That's a good question. So each year you're going to get your semester report card, right? Your progress reports. Any class that you pass, okay, in high school, that's worth 1 credit a semester, okay? So you're eligible to get 7 credits each semester when you get to high school. And that's not true next year. Okay, next year you could technically earn 4 high school credits if you take one of the classes listed here that are worth high school credits each semester. Okay? Good question. What else, guys? Are we awake today? You guys remember last year, I was just down at Wells in Thorntown yesterday talking to all the 6th graders. Remember how scared you guys were? Yeah, you guys remember how scared you were last year? That's how they are right now, okay? And you guys understand, you're anxious about it, but you've made it. You know kind of what's going on now. In the transition from 6th grade to 7th grade, not really that bad. But now it's starting to get pretty serious when we start talking about high school credits and what your graduation plan is going to look like, okay? We're going to have several guidance lessons that are going to start next Wednesday during our guidance block that's going to help you with this. I'll try to bounce in and out of all the rooms as well to make sure I can answer any questions. So, most important thing, take this home, get this piece of paper filled out. We'll send this out to all your parents. Make sure you look through this presentation with them. Watch the video if you need to, and we'll be good to go. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for paying attention. Good questions. And I think we have about 10 minutes left in first period. So I don't know, do you want them to hang here? Do you want them to go back?
Say go back.
Okay. So you guys, in an orderly fashion, let's head back to class today. Thank you.